Hey guys, this is Andrew with MyWatchAddictions.com, and today we're going to take a look at that flat tube Virtuoso that Aragon Watches just released thanks to a successful Kickstarter campaign. Not sure if you guys saw it, but Aragon Watches just recently completed their Kickstarter campaign for their flat tube Swiss made titanium Virtuoso. I know, it's a lot going on there. And that, along with the hype that they built prior to the campaign, is what led them to closing out and funding this campaign inside of an hour. Inside of an hour, this campaign was completely funded and ready to go. Couple that with the fact that the watch was delivered within a month of the campaign ending. Absolutely on point as usual. Wing and his team did a great job fulfilling, operating, running, marketing, hyping, however you want to say it. They did a great job with this marketing campaign and Kickstarter campaign in general. Before we get started though, guys, and before we jump into this watch and take a look at it, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down there in the right hand corner of the screen so you can see a lot of the cool stuff that I have coming here in the future. All right, so let's tear into this Aragon watch. You can see right there we have the Aragon collector's case that you guys may or may not have seen me talk about before we open it up. One thing I love about Aragon is they package the hell out of things to protect it. So inside the case, you see it's the two-sided case. We have, if I can keep it open, Aragon manual as well as screwdriver that comes with it. Blue leather. Really big fan of these cases. Blue crushed velvet pillow that it's on. Here's the Virtuoso 2824, and it's not even the right side up. So if we can take a closer look at this Aragon Tritium T100 Virtuoso from Aragon Watches, first thing you'll notice right off the bat is that deep blue dial that I am a huge fan of. It's almost got that sunburst effect to it in the light. One thing that Aragon is amazing at is their color selections. The colors that they use in their watches are extremely vibrant, and we definitely see that in this blue dial right here. Second thing you'll notice just looking at it right off the bat is those flat tritium tubes at the hour indices. Now, the 1 through 11 o'clock positions are green tritium tubed colored, with the 12 o'clock position being orange. And you'll be able to see a close-up picture of that here towards the end of the video. If we want to talk a little bit about the size of this watch, the case diameter, dial diameter on this watch is 48 millimeters, so it is a larger watch. If you have small wrists or if you're not a fan of larger watches, you just want to be cognizant of the size. Lug to lug from top to bottom in this case is 54 millimeters with a case thickness of 17 millimeters. So this is a very thick diver. Right there, you also have a good shot of that helium release valve, pressure release valve on the side of this case. This, guys, is a true diver for sure, with a water resistance of up to 1,000 meters or 3,300 feet. Part of that power comes from, our resistance comes from this screw down crown that we see right here that also controls the Swiss ETA 2824 automatic movement. Now that Swiss ETA 2824 is 25 joules. And in Aragon's case, in this watch's case, it gets calibrated directly by Aragon engineers to be accurate plus or minus 5 seconds per day. So each of these watches that go out are accurate plus or minus 5 seconds per day. And you'll notice right there when I did pull this out, this does have the hacking ability with that ETA 28-24 movement. Now, this case, this bracelet is all built out of titanium with a black IP finish on it. So this watch is actually extremely light, coming in at 7.4 ounces for this whole watch, including bracelet. If we look at the back of this watch, if I can get the sticker off, see if I can get you a good image there. You probably can't see it, but each of these Kickstarter watches are individually numbered. This watch is 13 of 100. Now, one of the things that Aragon is doing with this model is they are only releasing 100 per color execution for this Swiss Flat Tube Virtuoso. Those tritium tubes that I talked about a second ago, if you're not familiar with them, they're made by a Swiss company called MB Microtech. And these tubes are said to last 25 years without failure. Now, recognizing that's tritium tubes, so over time the vibrance will decrease as the half-life on that gas goes through its lifespan. But I can tell you this thing is bright as all get out. The bezel itself has lume in the bezel, and then you also see those tritium tubes right there on those minute and hour hands along with the tip of the second hand. This bezel is a unidirectional bezel. Very, very, very solid movement to this. This thing doesn't have any play. It's not going to be bouncing around on you. It's not going to slip by accident. You've got to put some pressure into this bezel in order to get it to move with very, very solid clicks. Talking about the bracelet a little bit, it does have the Aragon signature right at that clasp. This is a push button fold over clasp with safety. So it's not just a snap and then you pull it apart. You do have to hit the buttons on each side of this watch. One thing that I will let you guys know that I was incredibly impressed with, because I've had a few watches that it's a pain in the butt on, is Aragon really put some time into engineering the fit and finish and the functionality of their watches. And one of the things that I'm really appreciative of on this watch is it does have screw out pins. And when I went to go change the pins on this bracelet, I was a little apprehensive because some of the watches that I have that I do that have screw out pins can kind of be a pain in the butt to get the pins out to resize, because some of them, you know, have actual screw-in pins where one head screws into the opposite end, of the pin. This one, they've actually got the screws machined into the inside of the link. So when you screw out the pin on this watch, you only have one pin that comes out, no extra parts. And with the tool that was included in this watch case, extremely, extremely easy to size this watch. So from a functionality standpoint, I really, really appreciate that, not having to struggle with this guy. But you can kind of see that sunburst dial effect. This is also a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on it that you're kind of seeing there as well. So if we jump over to their Kickstarter campaign, you can see they actually had 101 backers that backed this watch or pre-ordered this watch. $66,000 is what they collected, and you can see that I was an early bird backer on the blue dial. I pledged $575 was my cost on this watch, and I know that's a lot of money for a Kickstarter campaign, but I can tell you just my experience with Aragon has always been above and beyond. So I was absolutely comfortable knowing that they would come through and deliver this watch as promised. So I was comfortable taking that risk at that $575 for the early bird. So we dive down through this a little bit. You can see you know, some close-ups of their watches. This is a really good shot right here of the lume. Shows you the color combinations that I talked about between the 1 through 11 o'clock indices, as well as that orange at that 12 o'clock indice. Each watch is engraved on the back for the backers with the serial number that their watch is, and my watch is actually lucky number 13 of 100. 13 of 100 of this color combination that were made is the one that I have in my possession. Really enjoyed this campaign. They maintained great communication with their backers, even right from the beginning. Product launch, March 2nd, 2018. Really quick turnaround on this. I mean, March 2nd, they met their funding goal in 36 minutes. And part of the reason I think they did that is, one, Aragon is amazing when it comes to marketing. Given just the size of the company they are, you know, they've got a real eye for how to market directly to their consumer via social media. March 6th, they announced free shipping worldwide. Added some new pictures March 8th. So this is all extremely quick. And oh, look at that. If you guys haven't seen, and you guys haven't seen my video, I actually went to Aragon and did an interview with Wing. I'll post up the link to that video below, but that's, my video was sent to all the backers in the updates. Added some new pictures of the dial for the Virtuoso. Wing did a video talking a little bit about it, and April 1st, the Kickstarter campaign closed. Now, what's really interesting about this is April 1st, they closed, Kickstarter campaign ended. That means that likely within that first week, they would have had their money from the pledges, from Kickstarter, hit their bank accounts. They started shipping April 27th. I received this watch the first week in May of 2018. I just received this watch. That is extremely quick, especially when you look at the fact that they met their goal in 36 minutes. They have to be doing something right to be able to do that. Have to be doing something right. So all in all, another great way for a company to promote a Kickstarter campaign, to conduct a Kickstarter campaign. Really happy with this watch, with this campaign, how this whole project turned out in general for them. All right, guys, so that was the Aragon Flat Tube Virtuoso that I recently received in from their successful Kickstarter campaign. Loving this watch, really looking forward to getting this guy sized and on my wrist and into my daily watch rotation, which incidentally you can check out at Instagram/WatchAddictions. Guys, post up in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this watch. Let me know what you think about Aragon watches in general. Have you had any experience with them? Do you love them? Do you hate them? What are your thoughts? Post them up in the comments below. They're not going to change my mind though, just as an FYI. I'm a huge fan of Aragon watches, have been for a long time, and you know, absolutely love their build quality, their style, their size, their weight. Most importantly, their cost. They have some really great costs on their watches. So check them out if you haven't already. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much. Have a great week, and we will see you soon.